So there you are practicing playing God, and then all of a sudden, you break all of your strings. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how to change all of the strings on your Tim Henson nylon string. Go ahead and do all the YouTube stuff below, and we're gonna get right into it. So the first thing you're gonna need is a new set of strings. These are my favorite right here, the Diodario Pro Arte series, normal tension, some string cutters, a rag or towel to wipe off your guitar, and then some sort of pillow to rest the neck of the guitar on. So you're gonna find some sort of flat surface to place everything on. If you're working on a table, I recommend setting down a towel. I'm using my bed here. So the first thing we're gonna do is take our rag or towel and wipe down our guitar. Usually a lot of dust and grime gets built up, so this is a good time to get rid of it. And we're gonna work biggest to smallest for the strings we put on. So with the low E string, I like to take the end opposite of the sticker to start with. So we're gonna place this into the bridge hole, bring it around, wrap it around itself, and then tuck it underneath. So here's another angle of me putting the string into the bridge hole, wrapping it around, and then tucking it underneath again. And now we have a third angle of the same thing, me taking the string, putting it through the bridge hole, wrapping it around itself, and then tucking it underneath. So now we're gonna pull the string up to the headstock and put it through the tuning peg, and then wrap it around itself a few times. And then make sure you leave yourself some slack on the string. I like to measure 3 fingers worth from the 12th fret. And here's me doing the exact same thing from a different angle. So the reason we wrap the string around itself a few times is when we start tightening the tuning peg, this will prevent the string from becoming undone. So here's how that tuning peg looks now with the string tightened. You can see that the string is overlapping itself so it won't become undone. So now we're moving on to the A string and then the D string. The process for these strings is the exact same as the E string. There is nothing that is done differently. So this is a quick cut of me putting those strings on. So moving on to the third string, this is where things will change slightly. So instead of wrapping around and then tucking underneath once, we are now going to wrap around 2 times and then tuck underneath. So this won't be too bad to do, but we don't want a lot of excess string at the bridge end. So this can make it kind of hard to gauge how much string you might need to get the tie done. And I actually messed up here, so you can see me redoing this tie. So here's the same process, just at a different angle. There's the first wraparound, and then the second, and then tucking it up underneath. And then the same thing here at the third angle. So after that, we're gonna do the same thing as the first 3 strings. We're gonna pull up to the headstock, put it through the tuning peg, and then wrap itself around itself a few times. So now the process for the last 2 strings is very similar to the second. Instead of wrapping around itself 2 times, we are now going to wrap it around 3 times. So here's the first wraparound, the second wraparound, and now the third, and then tucking it underneath, and finally pulling it taut. Here's that same thing at a different angle. The first wrap, the second wrap, and then finally the third, and then sliding it underneath. And then at the final angle, hopefully you can see it over my big hands. So now the same thing as the other strings, we're gonna pull it up to the headstock through the tuning peg, wrap it around itself a few times. And for the final string, it is the exact same thing as the B string, literally copy and paste that same process. So before you trim all of the excess string off, you should tune your guitar. Luckily, this guitar has a tuner on it. Or if you want, you can use a headstock tuner like a Snark. And this is how the guitar is looking with all the excess cut off and tuned up. And that's how you change the strings on the TOD10N. If you enjoyed the video and got this far, please subscribe, do all of that. Now go f***ing practice.